All right, MCU fans, Armand here for E equals MCU. We going live. We live right now. You know what I'm saying? Saggy ceiling in the car. We doing it live. As you can see, I can barely see out of the back of that thing. It's getting bad. But we roll on. We roll on. So we're gonna ride and talk for a minute. I don't know if I'm gonna have to head off to work right quick. But I wanted to talk about Punisher One Last Kill. I got a chance to see it last night, and it was good. It was good. It was good. It was fire. Literally, right? You have to excuse me. I'm trying to get my morning coffee in. It was fire. You know what I mean? I mean, the fact that they literally set Frank on fire. But I need to dive a little deeper into it to kind of get everything. I don't think it was perfect. I don't think it was perfect. There was not one, but there was a couple of things I felt they could have expanded upon better. I, I, I think what this was, and correct me if anybody knows any different, but they it looks to me like Marvel Studios took the budget for one of Daredevil's shows and gave Punisher his own episode. But since the episode was not directly connected to Daredevil, it was its own one shot in a sense. So I basically think they took it, maybe up the budget a little bit for that episode or scale back on some of the other Daredevil stuff. But that's the reason why we only got 8 episodes of Daredevil as opposed to 9. And it's a great backdoor. I don't want to say backdoor pilot, but just kind of a backdoor to keep Frank out there. Like he could do something like that almost every year, and I'm sure Bernthal would probably do it. With that said, I think a lot of people wanted more as far as the timing on it, man, because one of the complaints I have about it is they sucked up a lot of time with vibe. And what I mean by that is a lot of slow motion, a lot of John Berthal's what I would call a deep actor. So this was very much a play, or not a play, but it was um a showcase of the deep emotional state of Frank Castle. And I think they executed in that way. I think that in doing that, that's what kind of makes people want more. Because basically, what you get is like one big action scene. And the only difference between this one shot and an actual Punisher movie, you would probably get 3 of those for each act of the movie. And then that would have gave you your at least your hour and a half, and then depending on how much dialogue they wanted to do in between with the story and what the story was doing. That kind of is what makes the film or the show or whatnot what it would have been. So I am interested to see if he in fact gets his own movie, and it's probably based on the response they get from this. Will he just come back and do one shot special presentations on a TV show, or what? I did hear the direct interview with the director and the co-writer with John Bernthal, and he said he doesn't know what the Spider-Man Brand New Day aspect of it is going to entail. So his job was to connect, just to tell the story between Daredevil and Spider-Man. Which my other problem with the show was that it did not really connect to either one. It was its own standalone kind of thing. It didn't really pick up, because I think one of the things you have to ask yourself as an MCU fan, if you understand that Frank leaves um after Spider-Man Brand New Day, Frank leaves um I'm sorry, after Daredevil Born Again, Frank leaves he was in Red Hook. He broke out of Red Hook, okay? The other prisoners was in Red Hook. Daredevil had to go back in and save them. And I've said this before. Maybe it's because Frank is not necessarily an anti-hero, but it's like, man, if it ain't on his agenda, if it's not on his list of things to do, he ain't really concerned with it. And I think part of what this special kind of showed was the humanity in Frank, maybe kind of redeeming him for leaving those people in Red Hook, and the fact that he went full Punisher. And it was just like, he was protecting the innocent, you know what I mean? The victims in this case. So it's kind of mixed messaging, but it's like I kind of get it, but it's like at the same time, I wish they would have connected it a little bit better, or maybe saying that's why he did what he did. But I mean, between that, you got those two things kind of at play here. Yeah, man. Overall, like some of the things I did like about it, action was top notch. The acting was top notch. I do have questions of Curtis because at first when I saw the trailer, I thought, does that mean Curtis is dead? Because he did not die at the end of Punisher season 2. So I was kind of wondering, is Curtis dead or whatnot? Because he was seeing him he was having mental, you know, delusions of Curtis and some other people he served with. Which, by the way, did anyone else notice that one of the guys that was in his visions looked like the same soldier or potentially the same character from Captain America Brave New World that Sam knew that the leader killed? Sam had an inside guy in that movie, and the leader, you know, found where his base was and everything and whatnot, and he killed him. And it looked like the same guy. I'm gonna have to double check on that. If anybody knows for sure, let me know. But um, yeah, yeah. So the fact that Karen was in his visions, we know she's not dead. Which, by the way, they're building a weird love triangle between Karen, Punisher, and Daredevil. That is just kind of, and it's just like, especially after this past season, she's taking on more of the Punisher's outlook on things. Like she packing, and she been victimized too many times, and she's ready to squeeze that trigger. You know what I mean? Like she would not let it happen to her again. And that's, I mean, that's great for the character. That's great character development. But I kind of wonder where they're going with the love triangle thing because it could get saucy. So other than that, that's my only really complaints about it. Everything else about the show was fire, man. I mean, I wish we could have got more. I wish we had a little bit. Like everything in it was fine. I wish it connected a little bit more. That's one thing about the continuity of everything. But at the time when they're making these, they don't always know where does X leave off, where does Y start, or where does Z start, and I am Y. So it's just kind of like whatever. But that's my quick thoughts on it. You know what I mean? Let me know if you feel differently, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Just let me know. I don't really do like the scale things, but let me know on the scale of 1 to 10. What do you give it? I would give it probably an 8. I think it was a solid 8. So let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I do appreciate you. Appreciate you all. I know I've been getting some couple messages on some of the shorts and stuff. It's like, man, I appreciate it because it's like you guys might bring up something that I missed or just didn't think of at the time, and I think it helps everybody really kind of in understanding the bigger picture of everything that's going on. So it's always great to get insights from you guys. So with that said, till tomorrow, till next time, peace.